Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic. Welcome to the Dying Bench. Today we'll be doing a little tropical flats pattern, a little Crazy Charlie variant. It is a Crazy Charlie, but it's just my little variant on it. Um, but it's just because I found down in the flats, depending where you're going, but down in the flats, sometimes they want something a little bit more. So here's a little bit more. Switch over. So today in the device we have a Ahrex SA280 Minnow size 4. I like using these, and I like using you've got a shrimp hook I really like, but I don't have big enough size. I either got a small one or I got a huge one, and I want to. This Crazy Charlie doesn't need to be too big. You want this to be, not huge. So for the thread, I'm going to be using some Semperfli Nanosilk in white. For the underbody, I'm going to be using some Semperfli body spandex elastic, hot pink for the underbody. For the overbody, I'm going to be using some UTC Vinyl Rib in clear. For the wing, I'm going to be using a Semperfli Predator fiber in hot pink. And then for a little bit of extra flash, I'm going to be using some of the love this stuff. Kreelex is one of my favorite. The pearl high luster. So it's okay, and that's it. So, oh, I know, sorry, and a set of Beadchain eyes in whatever color you want. I actually like them a bit of contrasting, so the black here, I quite like it. Um, and if you want this to be a little bit heavier, just add hourglass eyes instead of the Beadchain eyes. Um, It's up to you where you're wanting to fish. I'm wanting to fish. I'm making these for that, you know, 2 to 4 foot depth range in the flats. So I'm going to leave myself about one full eye space back at least, maybe a little bit more. And I'm just going to tie on my little Dumbell eyes here. Make sure you do this step that I'm doing here, which is kind of going under not all of them, right? It just helps lock that in. See? And I'm just going to come right behind the bead, and I'm going to put on my body rib. It does have a flat side, so I always like having the flat side down. So put on my body rib first. Before I start cranking on it, because I do want to press crank on it a little bit, just so it's a tiny bit flatter. It's not a huge deal, to be honest, with this pattern. Like the way this is going on, I'm going to put that off. I'm just going to come to the bend. I don't want to go much further. Just about there. And that's why I'm using Nanosilk for this fly. I'm cranking on that really hard. I want it to be thin. So then I'm going to take some of that body spam, and again, just same thing. Just tie that on, give it a stretch all the way back, go all the way forward. Going to use this body span as like I said, an underbody, just to give it that really nice hot pink look. I could have done that with just thread, but this has got a bit of a sheen to it as well, which I really want. So you see I've left just a little bit of space right behind those eyes. You'll see in the next step here why. Because when I bring this body span forward, this body material forward from where the vinyl rib, geez, forward, it does want to take up a bit of space, right? So just really tight that first one. And I am cranking, as you can hear and see, I'm cranking pretty hard. So now when I come in here, watch, it'll nestle down in there nicely. So now I'm cross the eye, behind it, behind it, behind it, and across the eye. That really ties that in really well. Because again, this stuff will pop out if you don't have it in there right. So now I can do it that way, or I can have it up. I like having it up here. So I'm going to just invert my hook. I don't have to, but I just like having it higher here slightly. My hook inverted. I'm going to take a little bit of this bright pink predator fiber. It's hot pink. I'm going to actually create a bit of a taper by pulling it out a bit. I don't want a straight cut at the back end. I want this to taper a bit. So like that. Now I could add a bit more if I wanted. Let's see if I double this up. How much that is. Might be too much. We'll see. Should be perfect. Yep, good. So now I want it about there. So I'm going to just switch hands and I'm going to cut this piece off. I'm going to wax my thread. That's a really good crank down. Put that right in between the hook there. Just pinch that down a bit. I'm going to take 2 or 3 little pieces of the Kreelex. I don't need a lot, just a few, just a little bit of extra bling bling. And I'm just going to lay this in there slightly longer than the tail. I just want to make sure this sits right up on top there. Crank that down. Shut off my extra. Finish. And I'll add some UV resin to this if I later on to the head once I've done a bunch of them. Good whip finish so it doesn't come apart on you. Your little hot pink little is you Charlie is finito. That's it. Got that nice body in there. Like I said, you can put the dumbbell eyes on if you want it a little bit heavier. Um, Super easy to fish with these. They love going right into the in the sand and the flats. Now, if there's weeds around, just put a little weed guard in, like get like a 50-pound mono or so, and just put a weed guard sticking straight up like this. You can have it back if you want, but just sticking straight up about that long. So when it goes back, if a weed hits it, it just does that, right? So hope you guys enjoyed that one. Love tying these. They're so much fun. And you can pound them out pretty quick. I can pound these out in about a minute and a half when I'm all set up and ready. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. Tie lines, everyone.